What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today I'm going to be doing a fairly highly requested video. I'm going to be talking about two really good striker-fired pistols compared head-to-head. The IWI Masada, which was brand new for 2018, or 2019 I should say, and the Glock 45. Before I do that, I want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate you supporting the channel. We do monthly giveaways and we do Patreon-only content, so if you become a supporter, you can get access to all that stuff. I also want to mention the Amazon links, Olight links, and a link to a local homeless shelter that I keep in the description below. Feel free to help support that homeless shelter by clicking the donate button. This right here is the Glock 45. Now this is the 4-inch version of the Glock. Kind of picture Glock 17 with a shorter barrel. It has ambi controls, the 4-inch barrel. It's around 22 ounces, making it very light, very compact, and holds a 17-round magazine. And it has some features that make it a little bit superior to other Glocks in the past because it is a Gen 5 variant. So it comes with these slide serrations, it comes with the improved trigger, it comes with the magazine well, and a couple other things. Now mine came with night sights right from the factory, however they don't all do that, and I do have a gold Agency Arms barrel in here because it was from my Glock 19, which I sold, so I put it in the Glock 45 because I like gold and black because I'm a Hawkeye fan. This is the IWI Masada. It also has a 4-inch barrel and holds a 17-round magazine, and it is around 22 ounces. Not only that, but they're both striker fired and they both polymer frames, so they are very similar pistols overall. They both have ambi controls, however the controls in the IWI are a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to access, and the IWI has a ambidextrous magazine release as opposed to just the standard on the Glock. However, you can switch the Glock over to the other side if you so wish. The takedown is a little bit different on each one of these pistols. I would say the IWI is going to be a little bit superior. On top of that, the IWI comes with standard 3-dot sights, not night sights, but they are a very similar configuration. Now let's get into the reliability of these pistols real quick. So what would you use each one of these pistols for? Well, both of them would be great for law enforcement. That's really where the Glock 45 was marketed, and it would also be good for military-type personnel. Anybody who's going to be wearing a gun that wants a full-size gun, even for civilians, if you're going to be sitting in a car all the time, if you're a trucker or a UPS driver, something like that, and you want to carry a full-size gun and you're going to be sitting all the time, the shorter barrel is going to be easier to carry while you're in a vehicle, which is kind of the advantage of the 4-inch barrel. Now, some of the other advantages that were touted that I disagree with are going to be, they say that it's going to be faster out of the holster. Well, maybe, but that's so negligible, it's ridiculous considering that your draw out of your holster depends so much more on your level of training, skill set, and how many reps you have, much more than it does your length of barrel, but I imagine it could take off a 10th or even a 100th of a second if you're really searching for that. Now, the other thing that they tout is going to be lower recoil because it's got lower reciprocating mass on the slide. The problem with that is it's just not true. I did a comparison with the Glock 17 and with this, and you can see in that video that the Glock 17 is not only faster, it's a little bit more accurate because it has a longer sight radius. However, for most applications with a handgun, that doesn't matter very much, and you're going to be carrying it inside a holster in your car much more than you are going to be shooting at long distance. So for most applications, the 45 does make a lot of sense. Same with the IWI Masada. So home defense, concealed carry, law enforcement, military, many people can benefit from either of these two pistols. But which one is actually better? Let's start with the reliability here, and I have to mention that they are both pretty excellent. I shot around 2,000 rounds now through the Glock 45, and it has been 100%, zero problems, tons of rounds through it, and that's what I would expect from a Glock. Glocks are known for reliability, and the Glock 45 is no different. The IWI, 1,000 rounds through this gun, no malfunctions whatsoever, absolutely perfect. I do want to mention that the IWI was sent in by a viewer. I really appreciate that. Thank you, and if you guys have any cool pistols you want me to review, feel free to contact me on Instagram or Patreon. The reliability on both these guns are excellent. The track record on both of the companies that make these guns are again excellent. I would give the slight edge to the Glock because it's been around longer and it's had many designs to perfect their reliability. And I would say that overall the Glock might be a slight edge in reliability, but I think for either one, very, very close. And really at the end of the day, it's a tie. Now, as far as accuracy goes, both of them have very similar sights. And both of them have good triggers, but not great triggers. So let's go through the Glock trigger first. Pretty good. It's definitely heavier than the IWI. It's not as crisp, but it does have a little bit shorter reset, allowing you to shoot a little bit faster. However, it does diminish your accuracy slightly at distance.
Oh, sun, huh?
The IWI's trigger. Now you can see there, it does have a much longer reset and it does have a little more take up before it breaks. However, it is a little bit smoother and it is a little bit cleaner.
All right.
Well, that is a
Well, that doesn't suck.
pretty good group right there.
Yeah, so just a little bit low and we'll be off to the races.
So overall, as far as triggers go, I would rate them the same. The upside to the Glock, however, it's easily changed out for any other trigger on the market, and it will probably end up being a little bit more superior than this. As you can see there, it had a little bit of problem resetting there, and it got stuck a little bit. That's because I'm trying out a new, lighter recoil spring. That's not the fault of the Glock itself. So overall, as far as accuracy goes, I'm probably going to give a slight edge to the IWI.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see if we can hit a real small one. Yeah, there we go. 6-inch plate at 50 yards. I missed the second time though. Got her the third time.
Over as far as speed goes, I'm probably going to give an edge to the 45. So it's really a matter of what you want to get out of it. And again, so close together that your training level is going to matter a lot more than the actual difference in the trigger itself. So take that in consideration. Now we'll get into ergonomics real quick, and I want to talk about some of the benefits of the Gen 5 over the previous generations, and then some of the benefits of the IWI over the Gen 5. So as I mentioned, it has front slide serrations. It comes with the Glock marksman barrel, although I have switched it out for an agency arms. AMB slide release. The takedown levers are right here. The trigger undercut on the Glock still sucks real bad. It's the worst out of all the guns by far. Whose finger is that big? Your finger's supposed to fit there. You can see where my finger fits. It's like an inch past that, and that's why you end up getting that Glock knuckle that everybody gets when they shoot Glocks a lot. The trigger guard, it's okay. It's squared, so if you want to do the Jerry Michalek thing, you can. Magazine release is swappable, but not ambi right from the factory. So you got to be aware of that. It does come with a mag well, and it does come without the front cut that some of the Gen 5s have, because this is not an MOS, but the MOS guns come with the without that cutout, because that cutout totally sucks. Now it doesn't come with a red dot mount, which is a big disadvantage to most shooters today. Now, I'm still riding the iron sight train. However, most people have switched over to red dot because they are superior in many, many ways. One point of aim, aging eyes, all that stuff. Easier to track moving targets. And if you want to have the option to put on a red dot, not only can you do it with the IWI, but you can put on any red dot you want. It comes with an entire plate kit here, just kind of like the MOS system, but in my opinion, it's a little bit more secure. Now, even though the MOS system on the other Glocks has the metal mounts, you can get a little bit of slop and a little bit of movement, and if you use your red dot to manipulate your slide, you can throw off the zero. I have seen no reports of that with the Masada, and even though these are polymer, which does bother me because if you heat it up enough, maybe they could flex, something like that, they are extremely secure. When you snap them in here, you would be amazed how hard it is to get them in and get them out, and on top of snapping them in, then you screw them down with screws and Loctite, so they are extremely secure, and you can put any type of red dot you want on there. I actually went with the RMR Type 2 for a lot of the shooting I shot this gun.
Well, now you're just showing off.
Now, on top of the red dot, the advantage you're going to get with this, you're going to get that solid pick rail. So if you like to swap your lights from your AR-15 over to your pistol like I do, you don't have to worry about changing the dumbass mount for the Glock. You can just throw it right on there. The trigger guard is going to be bigger, which is much better for gloved hands, especially for people that live in places like Iowa, like where I live, and you do end up shooting with gloves quite a bit. It's much easier to get your finger in there without causing an exit discharge. The undercut on the trigger guard is better. The magazine release is ambidextrous. I don't like it quite as much as maybe I could, but it does work very well. Takedown's going to be better. The controls are better. The serrations, even though there's slightly less of them, are deeper and are much easier to use. On top of that, the stock sights, these, like I said, you can pay extra for night sights on the Glock, but as far as the IWI goes, you get those sights. They're not night sights, but you get 3 dot sights for free, as opposed to the sights that come on the standard Glock is going to be the window and the dot, the square window, and those totally suck. The grip goes very similar. I would say that the IWI is a little bit more ergonomic for most people that have not pledge their allegiance to Glock. I like Glocks a lot, so I don't mind the grip angle at all, and I don't mind the grip at all. But again, people these days, a lot of them are growing up not shooting Glocks, and for the average person, I think the grip of the IWI is going to be a little bit better. However, the texture on the Glock is going to be a little bit more superior, and the Glock does come with a magazine well. So overall, ergonomically, I'm going to say that the advantage is going to have to go to the IWI, simply because it comes with more features and it works just a little bit better overall than the Glock does. Now, as far as shootability goes, which one has lower recoil and which one is a better shooter overall, which is a little bit different than accuracy. I would say that the Glock 45 actually has a little bit less recoil. Part of that is due to that the grip, the angle of the grip on a Glock allows you to get just a really, really secure purchase. It has a little bit more texture. It has a little bit lower bore axis. On top of that, now, I cheated a little bit because I do have a lighter recoil spring in there, and what that does is when the gun comes back, it's not oversprung and doesn't come back super hard, so I can get those fast follow-up shots really, really quickly with the Glock. Now, another advantage to the Glock is going to be that you're going to have any aftermarket accessory that you could possibly want, and you could stick it in there like barrels, trigger sights, yada, 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 and you're not going to have that aftermarket support with the IWI. So if you're making a Franken gun or you want to customize it to your exact specs, Glock's the way to go. If you're going to get it right out of the box, I'm thinking the IWI is the way to go. Now, on top of all that, the IWI is going to come in about $100 to $200 cheaper than the Glock, which is pretty incredible considering they're almost the same gun, except for the IWI comes right out of the box with more features. So that in consideration, overall, I got to go with the IWI to be the victor in this comparison video. I just don't see it any other way. It's cheaper, it's as reliable, it's a little more accurate, it's not as customizable out of the box, but hey, most people aren't going to do that anyway. And wouldn't it be nice to have a gun that you can just buy right out of the store and use for whatever you need without having to change the damn sights, the trigger, etc. that's the age we're in, and Glock's gonna have to keep up. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help our local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
Okay. Okay, now I'm ready.
Can't even see that plate rack. That plate rack is not visible.
Very camouflaged.